Congresswoman, you promised hell to pay if Reps Monica McIver, Bob Menendez, and Homan are prosecuted or charged with the crime. Is that a threat to Tom Homan and Kristen Noem?
I think people have been watching me drag Republicans for filth for trying to cut Medicaid across this country. I think people have seen how I can be an effective advocate and how there are political consequences, whether it's elections, whether it's public opinion. So, I mean, in terms of a personal threat of violence, no, that's crazy.
Okay, and you know, you say that Coleman was doing her constitutional oversight duties, but she assaulted a police officer.
Thank you so much.
Why do you think that they're above the law, Congresswoman? Congresswoman, why do you think that Democrats are above the law?
They aren't. Republicans are just so far.
Congresswoman, are you afraid that they're going to be prosecuted and found guilty of assaulting officers? Stop blocking my phone. Congresswoman.
White trash.
Congresswoman. If they're found guilty of a crime, what are you going to do?
All right.
Are you going to incite a riot?
All right.
All right, stop. Don't touch me.
I'm not touching you.
Don't touch me.
First of all, you can't intimidate me. Come on, give me a break. You know, I was enforcing him. I was wearing a green uniform, Border Patrol agent, for 5 years before she was even born. I had more than 3 decades enforcing immigration law before she became a member of Congress. I worked for 6 presidents. I've seen policies. I've seen hundreds of policies. Some worked, some didn't. But you can't deny the success of the Trump administration when it comes to border security. Again, the most secure border in the history of this nation. And I said from day one, and she knows this, you can not support ICE. Shame on you. You can support sanctuary cities. Shame on you. But you can't cross the line. You can't knowingly impede ICE law enforcement officers. That is a felony. You can't harbor and conceal, knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien from ICE. That is a felony. And you certainly can't commit criminal trespass. You know, and as far as New York, her district, this administration has done more to protect her district than she has. The number of criminal aliens we took off the streets of New York made her community much safer. She ought to be thanking the members of this administration, the men and women of ICE who protect this country and make her community safer. So, you know, it's politics over public safety. It's just ridiculous. She ought to love her community more than she hates Trump, because we're doing a lot to protect her community.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey. Why this beat so crazy?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our We will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
I think this might be the best thing that I've seen on the internet today. I think so, maybe. This might be the best thing I've seen on the internet today. I'm just saying. Oh boy, you just can't make this up. How y'all doing today though, family? Family, what's going on? Hope you're having an amazing week. It's almost Friday. I know y'all been working hard, man. God bless you all and your family, man. One love to the human race. If you're new here, join the family. Don't give it what you look like, what your skin color is, where you come from, which age is. I got love for you. You know, we all just trying to make it to the end. You know, we all just trying to survive. You know, don't feel like we're better than anybody. You know, we're all humans. And we all live in this very, very, very fast time travel, man. You know? In this corrupt scam matrix. You know? And we are against a great evil in this country. The insanity that's going on in this country. People have lost their mind. You know, people have no common sense. Stay woke. They don't want peace. You know, they just don't want any common sense. You know, so we send our prayers for America. I want to send my prayers and love to you guys. You know, love y'all, man. We got this thing on AOC. And how do you feel about AOC? Let me know. He's polling right now as one of the leaders in the Democrat Party. Bernie Sanders, they're saying Bernie and AOC. The Jasmine Crockett's, you know. What a disgrace in Congress it is. A criminal organization, they ought to walk in there and just clean house. They ought to just walk people out with their hands behind their back. I'm just saying. For real. They might just, you know, they in there arguing, can't get nothing to move. I'm just. President Trump got to walk around with his boots on 24/7. Po fella can't even go to sleep. You know, can't even. Po fella ain't. I think my president done laid down and took a nap yet. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And we got these idiots, man. These Democrats. I wish they cared this much about actual American citizens. Actual. Us Americans, they actually cared this much. It's just Trump. We got to defeat Trump. We have to. This gonna be 2032. 2032, and they still gonna be talking about Trump. Trump. We still have to defeat Trump. Trump ain't in office no more. What y'all talking about? Trump. Pathetic, sad, idiots, man. Deranged lunatics. The Trump derangement syndrome in this country. They got Musk derangement syndrome. And you know, I love how Tom Homan responded to AOC. You know, and these demon rats, these hypocrites. You know, but I definitely wanted to check this out.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, today we have a massive update on the investigation into none other than Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and I'll tell you what, AOC is sweating bullets. As many of you know, a couple months ago, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez hosted a, quote, Know Your Rights webinar in which she instructed illegal aliens on how to avoid ICE deportations.
Treason! Put your hands behind your back, ma'am. They should have came and got a long time ago. You know, when we did that video of her on that stage and her own supporters were booing her off stage, you know, and attacking her, they had to kick that two or three of them leftist women out of there because they were just pissed off at AOC. Her own supporters. Y'all seen it at the town hall. Take her back to the bar. Back to the bar. The other one, she didn't ghetto-fied Congress. The other one, she didn't marry her brother. She making love with her brother. Yeah. Foreign agent. Take her butt back to Somalia. It's a disgrace, man. They say, Rick, sir, you shouldn't have said that, sir. Rick. You shouldn't have said it. Why did you say it, Rick? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't. I went too far. Rick, you went too far. Rick went too far, man. She in there making love and making bread with her brother. Unbelievable. I ain't never seen no like it in my life. She in there rubbing her brother's feet. Unbelievable. I ain't seen nothing like it in my life, y'all. Unbelievable. Then the other big heifer in New York, she done married her daddy. Lying on the application. She committed fraud. They ought to lock her big butt up. She should be in jail right now, in prison. Where the hell is Cash and everybody at? Where Pam Bondi? Where everybody at? Shit. I'm tired of hearing all everybody just talk and come out there and they bring Jim Jordan out talking about she need to pay $300 million. We need to see handcuffs. I'm sorry, y'all. It's a lot on my chest. I'm sorry. I got to get it out. This is the only way I can get it out, you know. I can't get it out no other way else. I got to come on here and get it out with y'all. Come on now. I got to come on here and get it out with the family. But this, I tell you, man. I tell you, it's, you know, it's a disgrace.
Really, she's betraying the American public that she was elected to serve with blatant disregard. Now, border czar Tom Homan took serious issue with this, calling for the Department of Justice to investigate Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's unlawful behavior. Her actions are a direct assault on President Trump's America First border security agenda.
And they took it even worse. They got these people that went ahead and got the illegals. They harboring illegals and gang member criminals. They got them up in the attic, up in their guest room. They in the living room with their feet propped up, in the backyard with the husband making barbecue. The wife coming in there, she having an affair with the illegal, rubbing all on his feet, rubbing all on his mushroom tip, making them nice hot soups and breads and unbelievable. I ain't never seen nothing like it. It's crazy. Then they giving them big knives and ammunition and weapons. Unbelievable. Patting them on the little head, patting them on the little booty, telling them great job, you're an amazing person. Meanwhile, you look in their phone, they got decapitated victims and all kind of crimes they've committed. Unbelievable. They care so much for the gang member criminals. I wish they cared this much for actual Americans. Democrats.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is why right now AOC is absolutely freaking out. In fact, take a look at this.
Hey, Congresswoman, can you tell us, are you under investigation by DOJ? Have they told you yet? Have they responded?
I mean, they haven't been I've asked them, they haven't responded to me, but, you know, once again, fully using the First Amendment to inform people of their constitutional rights.
Constitutional rights.
They say a lot of things, but I've written a formal letter and they won't respond.
What would result from a possible arrest of a lawmaker, a sitting Democrat lawmaker, over immigration by the Trump administration?
I mean, whether it's about immigration or anything else, the arrest of, I think, a lawmaker without any actual grounds, I think would represent
no idea what she's talking about.
Tremendous sea change and escalation in what this administration is willing to do to bend laws, norms, etc., and how a normal functioning democracy works. And on top of what it means for us to
a normal functioning democracy. A normal functioning democracy.
domestically, I think globally, many of our allies, partners across the world would be extremely alarmed at such an authoritarian development in the United States.
Okay, now folks, we have a lot to unpackage here, but before we do, I want to, because it really does, that she doesn't even know if she's being investigated by the DOJ because the DOJ hasn't cared enough to respond to her. And in my opinion, good. The DOJ doesn't owe her a response. In my opinion, they owe her a prison cell. And she also thinks that if she were to be arrested, it would represent a, quote, escalation by the Trump administration, undermining democracy and serving as an authoritarian development which would concern and alarm other nations around the world. Now, do you folks remember how for 9 years the Democrats actively tried to put President Trump behind bars? Because I sure do. Just a little bit hypocritical here, AOC. Really, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's webinar in which she coached illegal aliens to avoid ICE apprehension and deportation is just yet another disgusting example of the progressives' agenda to dismantle our borders and to invite third world chaos into American cities. And here's the reality. AOC's radically progressive political philosophy, rejected by 80% of Americans, pushes divisive policies that weaken our nation's foundation, ultimately prioritizing foreign criminals over the safety of everyday American citizens. Her anti-American behavior directly undermines ICE's mission to deport dangerous illegal alien criminals, and by coaching these illegal alien criminals to avoid deportation, she is putting their lives above the lives of American citizens. And so yesterday afternoon, Border Czar Tom Homan actually directly responded to AOC. Take a look.
Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez said that she hadn't heard from the Department of Justice on potentially being referred or whether she's under criminal investigation. Do you have a response?
I have to check with the Department of Justice on that.
Okay. And do you have a response in general to her saying there'd be a problem about whether if Republicans or anyone goes after these Democrats?
Look, you know what? I wish she'd do her job. She's the legislator, right? Why don't she pass some legislation and and actually improve this country like President Donald Trump is already doing? I mean, I'm doing my job. Border secure. We arrested 3 times more criminals than Biden did. We're doing our job.
And they asked in there that ain't did nothing. And then on top of they in their sleep. Y'all seen it? I got to pull it up. They in their sleep. That's where your tax money is going to. They in their sleep. Out cold. Either they can't get together and get nothing done. They in there arguing. Or somebody throwing a punch or a fist. Or they in there and fell a damn sleep. Or somebody, or something is coming out of somebody's mouth saying Trump is bad. It's just Trump bad. Trump dictator. Trump destroying the country. Trump. I mean, that's all you see. They ought to walk in there and put people in handcuffs.
Doing her job.
And so, folks, as usual, everything Border Czar Tom Homan just said is absolutely correct. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez
Getting on private jets with Bernie Sanders. And they get on oligarchy. Hypocrites, man. But Trump, but I did this, but Trump did this, but hey, it don't matter. Trump's a bad guy. But wait, you just did this though. But Trump do it, he bad? What? Yeah. Obama did this. And Trump did it. But wait. Trump's bad. Remember that. Remember, Trump is Hitler, dictator, threat to democracy. Our sweet apple pie democracy. They say, Rick, sir, calm down, sir. We're almost to Friday, sir. We're almost to the weekend, sir.
Should focus on doing her job, not jet-setting around the world on her hypocritical Smash the Oligarchy tour, flaunting a private jet while neglecting her congressional duties. Let's face it, AOC's refusal to pass meaningful legislation of any form, any legislation at all, reveals her allegiance to radically progressive globalist interests, spitting in the face of the Americans that she is supposed to be representing. Her actions do nothing but embolden criminal illegal aliens, despite the overwhelming demand from Americans across the country to stop the flow of illegal aliens into this country and to also deport every single one of them that invaded our nation under her style of progressive leadership. And so I'll tell you what, Representative AOC's anti-American behavior fully warrants a thorough DOJ investigation. Allowing a sitting congresswoman to instruct illegal alien criminals on how to dodge the apprehension and deportations of ICE agents is absolutely unacceptable. Here's the truth. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez isn't just undermining President Trump or the Trump administration. No, she's actively undermining the democratic will of the American people who voted for Trump in a massive 2024 landslide in order to secure our borders and to finally put America first. And so while AOC is flying around the country in private jets trying to smash the oligarchy, whatever that means, President Trump is fighting night and day to clean up the progressive mess that has been tearing our country apart for years with absolutely catastrophic consequences. Here's the truth. AOC's actions are a complete and total betrayal of every single American citizen. She has actively chosen to work on behalf of illegal alien criminals instead of the American people that she swore an oath to represent. And so, hey, in my opinion, the DOJ absolutely must hold her accountable. And so once again, right now, AOC is absolutely freaking out, and for good cause. She has chosen to betray the American people, choosing instead to work on behalf of illegal alien criminals instead of the American people, and that, ladies and gentlemen,
a whole bunch of these traitors. Traitors!
Cannot be ignored. She knows she's screwed. It's only a matter of time. And you know what?
No, but this is what she sounded like. Look at that. Look at that. Only the bottom part is flat. The top is okay. I tell you. But AOC backtracks and says she didn't threaten Tom Homan or Chrissy Nome with hell to pay comment. Looks like somebody is nervous, doesn't it? Let's check this. I played this at the beginning of the video. I want y'all to see it again. See and hear this again.
Congresswoman, you promised hell to pay if Reps Monica McIver, Bob Menendez, and Homan are prosecuted or charged with the crime. Is that a threat to Tom Homan and Chrissy Nome?
I think people have been watching me drag Republicans for filth for trying to cut Medicaid across this country. I think people have seen how I can be an effective advocate and how there are
effective advocate
political consequences, whether it's elections, whether it's public opinion. So, I mean, in terms of a personal threat of violence, no, that's crazy.
Okay, and you know, you say that Coleman was doing her constitutional oversight duties, but she assaulted a police.
You know, it's all political talk. You know, they all want to play the big bad person. Oh, yeah. Oh, and then, you know, they want to go out with all the threats and you know. These elected officials, these filthy politicians, we tell you about on the show every single day, man. You know.
Police officer.
Thank you so much.
Why do you think that they're above the law, Congresswoman? Congresswoman, why do you think that Democrats are above the law?
They aren't. Republicans are just so.
Congresswoman, are you afraid that they're going to be prosecuted and found guilty of assaulting officers? Stop blocking my phone. Congresswoman.
White trash.
Congresswoman. If they're found guilty of a crime, what are you going to do?
All right.
Are you going to incite a riot?
All right.
All right, stop. Don't touch me.
I'm not touching you.
Don't touch me.
You just can't make it up. The shit show continues.